aka Killmonger versus Kang. So the reason it was actually a pretty big surprise because it was originally expected to bring in a 38 to 40 million debut in this opening weekend in the States.
Yeah,
Actual box office 68 million.
that's very good. That's really good.
Now, what influenced our headline, Jonathan Majors AstroTurf question mark, was a couple of videos, and I don't want to accuse anybody of anything because I can't remember who said it in which video.
Hmm.
That's the problem of watching a lot of pop culture videos early in the week to get ideas and to have something to respond to is you don't always remember to cite your sources.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And everybody, it all bleeds in together. Yeah.
Yes. Um, they were talking like people were talking up this performance like it was bigger than it actually was, as like
Hmm.
almost a consolation prize for Ant-Man 3 going like underperforming.
Yeah.
Because if you're Disney, you are in the Jonathan Majors business.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah. They are they're really trying to hype him up. Especially as Kang.
Yep. And we'll show the receipts on that in a second.
Mm.
However, there were a few statistics about this movie that actually really surprised me.
Mm.
For one, this is apparently the 68 million is the highest opening weekend for a sports movie ever,
Mm.
unadjusted for inflation, of course.
Yes. Of course.
Which I don't know about you, but that actually really surprised me because you think of all the great sports movies, and then you think about it's like
Yeah.
they're not exactly billion-dollar franchises.
No, they're not. I mean, well, I mean, it's a niche genre, really. I mean, because not everybody's big sports fans. I
uh,
mean,
or for that matter, they're into different sports than your movie's about.
right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll say one of my favorite sports movies is Miracle, which is about the U.S. men's hockey team in the Olympics in 1980.
Like,
And not everybody's a hockey fan.
nope. Even Remember the Titans, which, as far as I know, is one of those movies that basically everybody has seen and has positive feelings on.
Yeah.
115 million in domestic box office, all lifetime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hmm.
So, what do you want to bet that these sports movies end up being a bigger deal on home video and cable and streaming than they are actually in the theaters?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, that tends to be the case, which I'm not entirely sure why. I guess it's just people don't want to go see a sports movie in the theater.
Yeah, I don't know so that was some interesting context. So
Yeah,
that's a title you can't take away from this.
yeah,
Uh, Also, outperforming your expectations by 30 million is always a good look,
yes,
especially if you're doubling it. Just
yeah,
just about doubling it like that.
yeah.
Now, Changus, I believe you had positive things to say about this movie, if you're still out there. But
Mm.
also, in my predictions for last week, I had actually forgotten that this movie existed, which is why I thought that a properly released and not shovelware Demon Slayer movie might have been number one.
Yeah,
So, oopsies.
yeah,
That's what happens when you make assumptions. You get your ass all up in your umptions.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so I think we're safe to say this is a really impressive result.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Now let's show the receipts of them. We talked about this before. How even the bad reviews of Ant-Man 3: Quantumania made a point of bringing up Majors as Kang.
Yes.
So if we look up, let's see here. Shiraz Faruqi from Cinema Debate gives it a negative review, 1.5 out of 5.
Ooh.
But Jonathan Majors is great as Kang, but Marvel seemed more focused on creating a 2-hour trailer for something better.
Mm.
If we go on to the next one, where the Kang comes up, I see. Actually, I should be looking up Majors.
Yeah, the one,
Majors.
yeah, the one Majors at the top. It says Jonathan Majors elevated the material and was in a realm altogether, but the movie was too drunk on its own mythology.
And Jonathan Majors is outstanding. He's in a different movie, giving a Shakespearean performance in what is otherwise, well, it's Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So I'm forced to come away with the conclusion that either he was great,
Hmm.
or it's like, okay, we they got some special instructions.
Yeah, yeah. They got a memo from somebody.
Because I gotta say, in all honesty, we ended up looking up the clips from Loki of Kang.
Mhm.
Daniel, what word did you use to describe the character every time I asked about it?
Goofy.
Goofy.
Yeah, yeah. He came across as very goofy. Just not intimidating, not threatening in any way. And of course, it makes me wonder if that version of Kang is different than the version of Kang that's in Ant Man, because we're
Mhm.
told that there are multiple versions of Kang out there because of the multiverse, which
Right.
is just yeah,
Yep. I know that I watched I found a 10-minute clip of all of his scenes from Loki, which
yeah,
were all from one particular episode, and I swear he must have had a 20-minute expositional scene with Loki, or actually Loki and Girl Loki's responses were probably shorter because those were all trimmed out.
yeah.
Like that video was 10 minutes long with him explaining the plot to the show, and like he barely seemed like a villain in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and not a very good introduction to that character if that's what they were if that's what they were going for.
No.
Yeah.
So I was gonna watch Devotion, but then I got busy. I got like 5 minutes in before I got a phone call.
Uh,
Wow, that's my luck, isn't it?
yeah.
um, and so I cannot judge him on the 3 or 4 scenes I saw. So, but
Mm,
it's not like he was electrifying.
yeah. Yeah, that might be in the movie. That might be a movie we'll have to watch at some point, just to see what he's like in a movie.
Yeah, just and if you know what, let's commit to that. Let's make that our thing for next week.
Okay. Yeah.
We will continue the Jonathan Majors a-thon. Jonathan Majors Watch 2023.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, we'll talk about we'll just talk about our feelings on it. But
Yeah.
I think overall we're safe to assume that Jonathan Majors is being astroturfed, or he might be being astroturfed as Kang, but I don't think that you can tie that to Creed 3.
No, I don't think so either. I think yeah, it's all yeah, it's all Disney, and yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with because Creed is done by MGM, which is owned by Amazon.
Yes, and by the way, that thank you for giving us the perfect transition to the real story here.
Yes.
Is Amazon is doing what Midnight's Edge, Valiant Renegade, and us have been saying to do for a while. If you put $50 million into a movie, don't just dump it straight onto streaming. Put it in the theaters first.
Yes.
The- like you remember that movie, that Samaritan movie that was my thing of the week last year?
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
originally an MGM property, and it was apparently $100 million. That movie did not look like $100 million, and Amazon
Mm.
just dumped it right onto Prime.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
No, like at least put it in theaters, and if you make 20 million, you have 20 million more than you started with
Yeah.
before you dumped it onto Prime.
Yeah.
It's so that could be where Creed 3 is really record breaking, not just for being, a top tier sports franchise as far as sports franchises go.
Mhm.
It could be top tier in terms, or it could have a larger importance in terms of making these studios go, hey, wait, we like money.
Yeah.
We are here to make money, right? Not to chase subscriber counts.
Yeah, yeah, and watch time.
Yeah. Uh, And let's run a quick number here. I believe a Prime membership these days runs $140.
That sounds about right.
So let's just take that number I saw somewhere, $100 million divided by 140. So for the Samaritan to break even, it has to be the reason that about 715,000 people sign up for Amazon Prime or stay signed up for Amazon Prime.
uh,
I would be shocked if that many people
oh,
watched
Samaritan. Yeah.
Samaritan.
Yeah, I mean that's yeah, you're talking about like a mid-sized U.S. city there.
Yes. So I like this development.
Hmm.
Darth Bobcat approves.
Yes.
Clean, because it is it gives us more things to watch in the theater.
Mm,
Helps the theaters out, and we can possibly be at the end of this mania with streaming counts.
yes.
Um, we were going to kind of compare this to the Rocky movies briefly, but we're running a little short on time.
Yeah.
Uh, Interesting thing we found out. Why wasn't there a Rocky 6 until 2006? Because Rocky 5 made a third the money of the Rocky 4.
Yeah.
Also, Rocky Balboa actually had a weaker opening weekend than Rocky 5 did. Probably because people said, "No, we're not going to see another one of these after Rocky 5,"
Yeah.
and then it had to leg out from 12 million to 70 million. So
Yes.
it shows you fight. You're really people are really coming to see the last movie in the sequel, or the last sequel in the franchise. So that's where Ant
Yeah.
Man might be dealing with some hangover from a bunch of bad decisions in a row.
Yes. Yes, I would agree with that.
Speaking of bad decisions, so